Come on, stupid phone. Here we go. We're finally live, man. Apologies for the delay. But if you can wait for us to get their shit together, then you can wait 15 minutes for me to get myself sorted, man. So apologies for the little bit of a delay. Welcome back to ArseBros. You know what? This is going to be one of the calmest editions of ArseBros that you're going to hear. Now, before I introduce my esteemed guest, right? First and foremost, now I want to do something a little bit different. First of all, Scunny, brother, get your beer open, bro. Get your beer open, nice and cracking, right?
Brother Manny, it's already done, mate.
Now that's first and foremost.
I'm not a rude bastard who does it on the microphone.
It's sorry. Well, fair enough, man. Fair enough. How you doing? What are you doing, man?
Yeah,
how you feeling, though, bro? How you doing?
To be honest, it's pretty much what I expected. I like the fact that we actually got a draw. Unfortunately, I thought with the Southampton team playing as they did, I thought we was going to get a loss. But it's nice to get a draw out of it. It was a hard-fought one, if we're going to go there. But yeah.
No, fair enough, man. Well, yeah. Let me start by saying this. Let me start by saying two things, right? Rest in peace to Tiny Lester, aka Debo from Friday, right? Now, if you've watched Friday, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And rest in peace to Gerard Houllier. I think that was a shock to me. That was a shock to the football community as well, probably. You know what I mean? So I want to start by saying rest in peace to those two gentlemen, two different artists, but two that deserve their crown and deserve their roses nonetheless. Do you know what I mean? So rest in peace to those two men.
No, I completely agree. Two experts in their field.
Now let's get... Yeah, man, you gotta give them roses, bro. Gotta give them roses, man. So let those two gentlemen pass on to the next phase. So big up to them, man. And big up to Why Not in the comments as well, as we do this first post-match beer and chill, bro. Now, Scunny, I didn't watch the game. I haven't watched the last 4 games. I haven't watched the last 4 games because I feel like, you know what, the passion, the anger, and what I put, to the table when it comes to supporting Arsenal is not being receipted by what you're seeing on the pitch. And I feel like if you're not going to give me back something, I'm not going to give you anything. So, bro, tell me, man. Talk to me. How do you feel about this game, bro? 1-1 it ended. Shock we didn't lose after going behind. So tell me more, man. How did the game go in your eyes, man?
Well, the last couple. If I go back, go to the last couple of games against Burnley and I can't remember who else we played actually because they all just sort of roll into one, don't they? But yeah, you have saved yourself some heartache.
Yeah, for it,
I'll admit, mate. You've definitely saved yourself some heartache. But if we're going to go back into the games, I think we played well against Burnley. I don't think we were the shit team. We just couldn't finish. Whereas in this game, it's just it just didn't seem to work out. He's changed the formation to what he played in the previous games, noticeably Burnley again. I can't think who we played before Burnley. I'll have to have a look. It's doing my head in now, but I'll just carry on talking while I'm looking.
Dude, it was a Tottenham. North London derby, bro.
Yeah,
I think I wanted that out of my head. Forgot.
Yeah, I wanted that out of my head.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think we want the worst team in these games. You know what I mean? We want the worst team in these games. Yes, we lost, but we wasn't by far the worst teams in them. We just couldn't, as how you would put it, couldn't finish the dinner. They couldn't finish their meal. But in this game, yeah, it just completely got changed around. Like I say, changed formation back to a 5-2-3 or what is it, a 3-4-3. I just don't see it. There was no sense of urgency in it. Like Hamburg Gumball says there, shit first half, marginally credible in the second half, which it is. It's right. So yeah, it's just it just really frustrates me after the way we've played. In some respect, it hasn't been brilliant, but it hasn't been bad to go to really underperforming. It just frustrates me more. But we came out with a result in this one, which is really weird. but it's a forgettable game.
You know
Don't get
what,
me wrong.
bruv? So basically, what you're telling me is that the effort was there, the result wasn't there, and the performances deserve more than the result. All right, that's basically what you're telling me.
Not necessarily the performers deserve a result, more. I think to be fair, yeah, I suppose in some respect, yeah, but not to give the team too much credit in that. Do you know what I mean? I think the team need to perform that a little bit better. They need to
They don't
step
get
up
good.
a little bit more. But yeah, in some respect, yes.
So you know what? That to me, all right, that to me is not enough. Do you know why?
No, it's not. I agree,
Because
man.
that
Sorry, mate, I'm going
level
to
of,
interrupt. It's not.
quote unquote talent. Because that level of quote unquote talent, bro, we shouldn't be having a conversation about they deserve better. It should be a case of we are beating these teams, end of story. Right? If you're looking at the level of talent. But what we're seeing is a team that's still under pressure, need the result at home, right? Because these are two favorable fixtures, you can't get the shit done. So what does that say about this shit? About this team, bro? It's not good enough. It's still not good enough. And even with Aubameyang finally decided to show up, it's still not good enough, bro.
I
So,
don't.
and now we
I
go
don't
to
necessarily
who are we
agree
playing
with
next? We got
Aubameyang
Everton next,
showing up.
right?
I'm just going to say I don't agree with Aubameyang showing up.
Mm.
He showed up for one goal, and I just don't think I don't think his head's in it. I watched him. I watched the post-match interviews with Aubameyang, and I tell you what, I've never
Yeah.
seen anyone look so deflated, so out of touch with everything. When they was talking to him, he couldn't really look up. He couldn't look into the person's eyes when he was talking. He was talking to the floor. I just don't seen that. And then
So whose
in the
fault is
same,
that, dude?
it's his own fault. And
Exactly.
yeah, it is. It's his own fault. I'm not going to think it. I've been very critical of Aubameyang lately, and I think by rights I should have. And I think all this talk that people say, oh, he's got money in the bank or he's got credit in the bank to play this bad. No, he hasn't. No one's got credit in the bank. I don't give a shit who you are. You may have been a Golden Boot winner. You may have been done this, done that. That was last season. This is this season. This is completely different.
You know what? This phrase "credit in the bank," right?
Nah.
Credit only remains in the bank for a short period of time because we are not in the position for any player or any manager to have any credit in the bank, right? It's not like we're pulling up trees, all right? Because those things go very quickly. So even though he scored 2 goals in the lead up to us, winning an FA Cup, that is all well and good, but just like the Janet Jackson song, and just like Eddie Murphy said in Raw, time after time after time, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? And what you've done for us lately after signing that contract is 3 goals, and we are in December. Yeah. So if he's looking down and he can't look up and he can't look, people in the eye and people in the face and this, that, and the other, Aubameyang, that's your fault. That's your fault because you haven't done it. You have no right to look anybody in the eye. So going back to the game, bro. Going back to the game. First half, right? Because as Humble said, shit first half. Would you say it was a shit first half, bro?
Yeah, we were absolutely getting schooled. It's really after, like I say, after watching the previous games where we weren't necessarily being absolutely battered. We were still in it. There was still chances, for instance. I just don't think, after seeing that Southampton when we was the first half, we was absolutely getting schooled. It was like we was all over the place, and this is I mentioned it to a group chat that I'm in. Like, this we need to change it up. I think it was like 35 minutes in, and I was like, right, change it up. We need to change it up. You need to change the formation, move people around. You can't keep sticking to this. This is the whole persona of what's going on with Arteta at the minute, and I think this is one of the real issues. He's so I hate it's like that. It's like that saying, in he's stuck in his ways. But how can you, someone who has only been a manager for what 18 months, less than a year? Sorry, is it? No, it's a year into it now. How can you have a manager
It's coming up
who's
to
only
it's going to be a couple of weeks,
a year in management, be stuck in their ways like that immovable object? No, I'm not changing it. I'm sticking as it is. Why? I just don't get it.
You know, I couldn't tell you, but I couldn't tell you because I look at the team, right, and I say to myself, why is there 3 defenders on the bench? Like literally, I see Mustafi, Louise, and Cedric on the bench, and I'm like, why have you got 3 defenders taking up space, right? And was Smith Rowe injured? You know, I know Nelson was injured, but you're telling me that you don't think Smith Rowe was injured? Because the way I see it is, why are you playing 5 at the back against Southampton at home? What is there is
you're at home,
dude? You're at home. You're playing 5 at the back. There is this inferior complex, right? That we have, that we've got to play 5 at the back against Southampton. What sort of respect are you giving them here? Because the way I see it, it's not like you're giving the message that, you know what, we can't beat this lot. We've got no creativity, so I'm going to take Saka and I'm going to stick him back further. There's a fear factor that the players have got, and it's stuck within them. And Arteta is doing nothing to remove it. But then at the same time, are there any rebels in this team to say, you know what, Mikel, we're going to do things our way on the pitch? There isn't. There's no balls in this team either, Scunny, bro. So even though Arteta's stuck in his ways, there's not one player who's going to go, you know what, nah, you may be stuck in your ways, but I'm a rebel. I'm going to make you do things differently. You know what I mean?
There is a couple, there is a couple of players that did that. I think Tierney did it last week against Burnley. He just sort of dragged the team. He was pulling up trees in the Burnley game, and then in this game just gone. Saka, he pulled. He was starting to pull up trees in the second half. You could tell by his face. Look, I've had a fucking enough. I'm doing something. Balls to your shit. I'm going for it. And it turned out that turned out to be the goal. So that's it's just one of them
19.
things. It's like a 19-year-old and a guy who's only just turned
19.
up with us this year.
19. Yeah, again. So do you see the problem here?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You see the problem here. A 19-year-old has got to stand up and go, oh my God, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm going to do something different. 19 years old. This is another one of the issues, Scunny. All right? Is that we have a 19-year-old who's got more balls than anybody in this team. But we have to wait for somebody to make that happen. How did Pepe play in this game, bro?
He wasn't brilliant, but he wasn't bad either. I rated him, for me, if I was doing it personally, if I was doing this rating system, I rated him about a 7 out of 10. And I think a lot of people who I've been talking to after the game was rating him about 6. And I think you're being a bit harsh being a 6. I thought a 7 was perfect. Because, yes, he didn't do anything great, but he did have sometimes that magical touch. He had a couple of chances on goal. It's like more chances on goal that I've seen for a long, coming from our forwards anyway. Doing something. He's made them little runs now and then. He didn't do many, don't get me wrong, but it's just But then I think I look at him and I look at Saka and I think, well, Saka's pulling up trees. Then I look at Pepe in this game and I think, well, he's trying, he's giving it a go, and I just think like he's not really getting anything towards. Sorry, that beer's a bit gassy. He's not. I don't know. I rated him a 7 out of 10 because I thought he didn't do bad. He wasn't brilliant. Don't get me wrong, but I thought he wasn't the worst player on the pitch by far, and I thought he played decently. At least he gave us that opportunity to get some chances. He had a few opportunities on goal. He created a couple of things, or he was trying to create a couple. It's more than what. Let's say it's more than what Willian has done over the last 3 games since Pepe's been out.
You know what was Scunny, man, you know how I feel about Willian. You know how I
Yeah,
feel about Willian, and
yeah.
you know what he represents to me, right? You know what he represents to me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Willian is just a continuation of a stupid tradition that Arsenal can't let go of, right? So for me, if you, from what you're telling me here, if forget his price tag for a minute, right? Forget his price tag, and like DWTT says right here, I didn't think Pepe did much. Compare him to Saka, he was invisible. Right there, therein lies the problem.
Mm.
Because if you forget the price tag, just look at the ability. If his ability and if Saka is playing, left wing back, right? If we're playing a threat at the back, if he's playing left wing back, then Pepe, as one of the furthest players on the pitch, in comparison to Saka, if Pepe was invisible and Saka is playing left wing back, there is a problem. There's a problem here, bro. So
Yeah,
yet again,
I do agree with
we
that.
are
I
having
do
to.
agree with that. But you've got to look at the
Hmm?
way Arsenal are set up to play. Everything seems to go down the left-hand side, which is where Saka, Aubameyang tend to be. So you're going to see a lot more from
Right.
them. But when we go back to look at the Europa games where we've seen Pepe, he's been played a lot more. That has that difference in the style of play that we're playing in the Europa. And this is what I've been saying for a while now. The difference between the league team or what goes on with the league team compared to what the Europa team is like night and day. The Europa team are free to do whatever they want. Just get on with it, score goals. And that's what they've been doing. When you go to the league team, it just seems that there's more everything's so structured. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. There's no freedom where this is the issue that I'm having with Pepe at the minute. He's not getting the same freedom in the league team than what he is in the Europa League team. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Why do so what do you think? Why do you think that is? Why do you
I
think
haven't
that
got a
is,
clue,
bro?
mate. I honestly haven't got a clue why that is. I don't understand it because I know there's a lot of people out there saying about but we're not playing them types of teams, like it's only Molde or it's only Rapid Vienna or it's only Dundalk. But I'm sorry, I hate that. You've got no divine right to turn around and say anything about any other team of what league they're in or anything else when we're sat in 15th in the league.
Mm,
I don't agree with that. Yes, we should be beating them teams. Don't get me wrong, we should. But there's no divine right to say that we
sure.
have. You know what I mean? That no, we're going to walk all over them. Or we shouldn't even let them turn up. But at the end of the day, Dundalk scored 2 goals against us. Rapid Vienna scored a goal against us in their the first game, not the second. So
There you go.
it's not that they can't score against us because they can. But yeah, we should be winning them
I
games.
don't know,
But
man.
it's that divine right where we're saying that elitist attitude. I don't like it.
See, you know what? It's
You
about
can't have
mentality.
that
It's about
attitude.
mentality, Scunny.
Yeah, you
No,
can't have
no,
that
it's about
attitude when we
mentality
start
because at the end of
15th.
the
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
no, sure, because it's the way you approach a game, right? It's the way you approach it, whether it's Rapid Vienna, whether it's Dundalk, whether it's Burnley, or whether it's Southampton. If you don't approach it with the same level of respect, you're likely to get beat.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who you play. If a team wants it more than you, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, they're either going to get a point or they're going to beat you. Right. So how you're describing the first, 35 minutes of the game tonight is that Southampton was schooling us. Why? Because they could.
yeah,
Meanwhile, by the sounds of it, we're playing with fear. Right. That's not because we're playing Southampton. That's because we are a bunch of pussies. Because we're scared. We're scared to express ourselves. No, let's be real. We're scared to express ourselves. Right. And in the Europa League side, we're playing Rapid Vienna, and it's a completely different side. The way I see it is, it's a mentality thing. You're either fearless or you're not.
yeah.
Southampton, Rapid Vienna, there is no fucking difference. You're still playing football. You are still
Anyone
playing
can beat
football.
anyone
We've
in
got
football. We've seen this before.
anybody can beat anybody, right? You're hearing the stories, David versus Goliath, this, that, and the third. Teams get beat. If you don't turn up, you get beat. How many times have we seen it?
Oh
How many
God,
times have we
over the
seen it,
years,
bro?
countless. I remember.
It's
Did we get knocked out by a non-league club a few years ago? And I think it happened to Man United as well. I can't remember who. Don't get me wrong. I'm
it
sure someone in the chat
can't remember, it doesn't matter. But it
might
happens.
remind me.
But
But
it
so, I
happens,
mean,
bro.
it may not have been us. It may have been a big in Man United. I think they got knocked out by a non-league club once, and there is other teams as well. But yeah, there's a comment here from Why Not Sentiment. He offered more than I think he's talking about Pepe. He offered more than William in 5 games, and you got Edu disrespecting us. If you don't rate William, you don't know football. What a mug! I didn't even see that. I'm not even interested in what Edu's got to say, if I'm being honest with you.
You know what? Let's go into it, right? Because I didn't want to stay on tonight's game because I didn't want to really put it on you too much to break down this game, and especially that it was a draw and I didn't watch it. No, forget the game. So we're going to discuss something completely different here because I want to discuss Edu because this guy's been piping up the last couple of days. Oh, he's had a few things to say, right? What about
Sorry, just
Willian?
interrupt
About
you quick. Sorry, mate. It was Wrexham, years ago. Hambo Gumbel. I knew someone in the chat would remind me. Was that yeah, they was the ones who beat us, yeah. So there was a non-league team who beat us. So, like I say, there's no divine right.
There is an divine right, man. It happens. So also, hold on a minute. That was Ostersons. All right. We lost to Ostersons, if you remember. We lost to them at home, wasn't it? Or didn't they beat us at the Emirates? Yes, they did.
Yeah, they
because
did.
shit happens, man. They beat us at the Emirates.
Was it Olympiacos
There's
last
countless
year?
examples of Olympiacos last year. So, and
Yeah.
this is what happens, man. When you don't turn up, it doesn't matter who you play, you will get beat. You will get beat. Now, let's talk about Edu, right? Let's talk. Have you seen Edu's comments in the last couple of days, Scunny? Have you heard him pipe up now?
I haven't seen much. I've seen bits.
You've seen bits.
I've seen little bits, but I figured it was just a load of twaddle, to put it nicely.
So, you know what? Here's my problem. All right, here's my problem with it all. So, Edu is backing Arteta 100%, saying these things take time. Right now, I tend to agree with that. These things take time. But see, here is the problem, Mr. Edu. He's spoken about, conversations with Ozil and his agent, and then he's spoken about Willian, right? So when Willian first signed, he was talking about how excited he was, and this is a guy who hasn't had to leave London, and he's come out and backed him and said, "Oh, well, how can you expect things? These things take time." I don't understand how these things take time, and you've got a player who hasn't had to leave the city, who knows the Premier League, and you should have been acclimatized a long time ago. So, again, I have a problem with the Edus of this world, Scunny. The problem is nobody seems to be taking the lead, and it doesn't matter what regime it is, bruv. I don't understand this, bro.
I've got an issue with this regime, and I've got a little theory on this one as well. I mentioned it on the last Friday our show. There is that structure we have at Arsenal now, and it's a totem pole. Right. So you've got Arteta at the bottom, so that obviously everything goes to the bottom. Arteta, manager. Then you've got Edu above him, and then you've got Vianney or Vianney above him, and then it'll go to the board.
I don't like that kind.
Right. Yeah, you see, you've got this structure, this totem pole. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying about replacing Arteta, and I think this is where I know Edu said he's backed Arteta because he has to back Arteta. For me, he has to back him because if he doesn't back him, someone on that totem pole, from the board to Vianney or Vianney to Edu to Arteta, one of them two either Edu or Vianney or Vianney. I can't. Is it Vianney or Vianney?
V9, Scunny. It's
Vianney. No,
V9. It's
I can't.
V9, bro.
Fuck off. You know, I don't see him that much. Fuck off. So one of them two would have to get sacked as well, because if you bring in a per se a top level manager like your Allegri's, like your Pochettinos, like say for instance your Ancelotti's or even a Jurgen Klopp style manager, they're going to want to be direct. They want a direct line from the manager to the board. They don't want the middlemen.
Oh,
See, Arteta, with him being a new manager, he has to have the middlemen. He's got no choice. You get the top lens, they're going to want that direct line. They're not going to want that third person in between.
So good. You know what you've just done this, Connie. You've confused something that the club have tried to make simple. What's that guy's name? The Tim Lewis. You know, the one with the horrible hairline. Did he come in and he started like wielding the sword? This just sounds more confusing to me, bro. This sounds confusing to me. So
I thought that was pretty, simplistic compared to what it actually probably is at the club. There might be about 8 people that Arteta has to bloody go through before he even gets a phone call off the board.
Man, and we have such a and the board is still old and it's still disconnected from everything that's football. So I have was it Edu at the game today? Because I feel like I saw a screenshot.
Yeah, he was.
So he was at the game. So can he be impressed by what he saw, considering how much talking he's done this week? Can he really sit there and go, you know what? I'm happy with this.
Can any of the Arsenal hierarchy be impressed with what they're seeing lately? Can any of them come out and happily say, I'm happy with the current state of the club? If they do, they're lying.
Of course, but see, herein lies the problem, Scunny. And this is something that I wanted to do like a bit differently, like do a little bit of a monologue and upload it up to SoundCloud. But I'm gonna do it on here, right? And this Edu, the way I see it, fits in this little description that I've got of Arsenal Football Club, right? The best way to describe Arsenal is in 2 words, and Arsenal is Granit Xhaka, bro. Arsenal are Granit Xhaka in the characteristics, right, that you see from a Granit Xhaka are the characteristics that Arsenal have had since we moved to the Emirates. All right, and by that I mean Granit Xhaka is a fake, right? Granit Xhaka is a fake leader. He's weak. He's brittle. When you challenge him, he crumbles. When you ask him to take responsibility for his actions, he doesn't. He backtracks, and it's always somebody else's fault. Those characteristics are those of Arsenal Football Club, because you do not. And Granit Xhaka is just the guy that I'm using because he's the idiot that got sent off on Monday. But really and truly, there is a supporting cast of Granit Xhaka's, the Socrates, the Mustafis, the Ozils, all of those fake cowards, these brittle men that we have allowed to come through the halls at Arsenal Football Club. Now, Kieran is asking how are we, Xhaka? We're grabbing fuck all by the throat. We are grabbing air by the throat, Kieran, right? Granit Xhaka, what you saw from him, it would have been different. I wonder how different it would have been if it was Alioski, right? Would he have had hand like his arm around him just like he did? So for me, Scunny, and bear with me on this. I'm gonna go a little bit on a tangent on this one. When you have a set of characteristics, when you are weak, when you are fake, when you are a cunt, you don't want to bring people through the doors that are going to challenge you. You need to bring in people that are like-minded to you. So that's why you bring in the Edus, the Emerys, the Xhakas, the Socrates, the Ozils, the Lacazettes, the David Luiz, the Williams. You bring in people that are like-minded, that are going to fit what you already are. Those who are different to you, they are the ones who tend to leave. Or they come they have a look and say, you know what, you don't fit in with how I carry myself, so I'm gonna fuck off. Let me tell you this right now, people. Kieran Tierney is different, and in 2 years' time, if he doesn't see something different, he will up and leave. There is a reason why the Van Persies, the Ashley Coles, the Fabregases, all of these people got up and left because they looked around and they said, you know what, these people don't fit in with how I carry myself, so I'm going to leave and I'm going to achieve. And you bring in the people that have the like-minded mentality that is already rife at the club. The mediocrity, doing the bare minimum. Fourth is okay. Fourth is a trophy, right? So I'm picking Xhaka, but really he's just a poster child for this metaphor that I brought into my brain. But so Scotty, come back to me, man. How far-fetched and how crazy does that sound to you, bro?
I think it sounds perfect, mate. I've been saying for a long time we fold quicker than an origami. It's just one of them things, isn't it? That happens.
There's a reason
I
why,
couldn't
bro,
agree.
that
I
people
honestly
come and
couldn't
go,
agree with you
bro.
more. You what? Sorry.
There's a reason why people come and go, Scunny. The ones that come and go, they're the ones that are like, hold on a minute, I've been sold a dream here. I'm leaving. I don't want to be around this crap. I am not doing, I'm not being around the jackers. I'm not being around the mentality that's doing the bare minimum and getting by. I'm going to go away and I'm going to go in and earn something. That's why Van Persie left. That's why the Fabregas left. That's why who's the Oxlade Chamberlain, right? He's a perfect example. Oxlade Chamberlain, we offered him more money than Liverpool. That he's like, yeah, it's not about the money. It's not about the money.
We got
I
some
need
good
to
money
go.
for him, to be fair.
Sure, we got some good money for him, but he was like, you know what, it's not about the money. I want to get up and I want to go and do something different, And the culture at Arsenal is the massive problem. There is a culture problem at this club of doing the bare minimum and being okay with being mediocre. And Edu fits into that image. He fits into it. Just look at his comments in the last few days. This is somebody who just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head with that dude there. You're right. He don't get it. He is. You got to remember as well. He is a Wenger player.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so he's got that mentality already. Okay, he was during the decent time of the Wenger era. The B's got to me already. You see. So yeah, he is at the decent time. He didn't play much, but when he did play, he was a good player. But it is that mentality, that era, that I can't. It's just pissing me off. Just even thinking about it.
It's doing the bare minimum and getting by, right? So for me, if the editors of this world, if they're so pissed off about it and they're saying, stick with it, things don't happen, as things don't happen quickly, just be patient. And you know what? I would be happy with those words if I didn't see the stench of the Ozils of this world still here. I would be more than happy to stick with it and stick with what Eddie has said if we had evidence that things were moving forward, bro.
Yeah, I think that comes down to the end of this season, doesn't it? There's a lot of outgoings, and a lot of them are the same names that people want to leave. Some people don't want them to leave. Some people, majority, I'd say, probably do want them to leave, like your Ozils, your Kolasniaks, your Mustafis, are all up and out of the door because they've got no contracts. So yes, that is something to look forward to. But the one thing that worries me is who we're replacing them with. Are they going to be the same sort of caliber of player as we have already? Or are we going to go down the same mistakes that we seem to be doing? Like we made the same mistakes with the Willian signing, because every year or every other year we always make that same mistake of buying or getting someone from Chelsea who's on their last legs, ready for retirement, earning that last bit of money just to keep going. We always seem to get them. You know, we
I
can
think
go.
the
I
list is
don't know. We
endless.
can go far back on them players.
We're not
Far,
even
far,
gonna go there. We're
but
not
we're
even
not
gonna
going
go
to
there.
go.
We're not
No.
gonna go there. But see, my problem is, and the reason for comparing Arsenal to Granit Xhaka, because Granit Xhaka is just the poster child for this metaphor. Because I ask myself, is Edu and Arteta, a representation of a new culture or just a continuation of bringing in people with a Granit Xhaka like mentality? You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
even though we've brought in Thomas Partey and Gabriel and guys who are bigger, who are stronger, and then we've sort of tried to patch up our spine. I look at a signing like Willian and I'm like, we haven't learned anything. So I worry that there will be a continuation of the culture, just doing the bare minimum, and of sitting down and running down your contract and just a culture of being mediocre and it being okay. Do you know what I mean? Is Edu a representation of that changing? Is Arteta a representation of that changing? That's my worry,
Yeah,
Scunny. I don't
it
believe
is
that
mine.
this is the end of it. Yeah.
It is mine, and I think what speaks volumes is if we're going to let these guys go on a free. Are they going to just say, "Look, there's a door," or are they going to try and beg them to say, "Oh, look, one more year, one more year, one more year"? I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that one more year. Show them the fucking door. Show
Show
them.
them. Yeah.
And I think another thing that speaks volumes is I know there's a lot of talk going around at the minute. All right, it is just rumours, but Xhaka could be shown the door in January. There's big rumours around it's gaining traction with a swap with Christian Eriksen. I don't know. I'm just hearing rumours and what's going around. But show him the door. If you've got that opportunity to get him out, get him out.
Okay.
It don't matter. I don't care if it is a swap deal. I don't care if it's for money. Get him out. Just for the reasons that you've been saying there. He is that poster child. He is that everything that we dislike about the culture at the minute in Arsenal with all these players that have been. It's gone on too long.
Right.
It's gone on way too long. It's time. It's time to start weeding these out. It's time to start biting the bullet and getting them gone. Show them the door. I want to see that. I want to see people like that, players like that, like your Özils, like your Xhakas, out. They don't need one more year. We don't want to give them another chance. The door. Use it.
Do you think they have the balls to pull the trigger, Scunny? That's the thing.
Well, that's the other thing I'm worried about. Have they got the balls? It's going to show a lot. To me, if they show them the door, like I said, they've got to do it. They've got to be different. They've got to give the fans a little bit of, not the full majority. I know there's a lot of people out there who do like these players, and that's up to them. That's their opinion. That's what they like. I'm not having to go at the fans about it, but it's like we said, we've got to show that culture, that can't be arse mentality, that this'll do mentality that we've got at Arsenal. It's got to go. It's got to go out the window. It's got to.
You know what I worry about? But this is just for real because it's what I see when you hear the stories that Mustafi was offered a new deal. Things like that make me worry that the culture at this club is not going to change by having an Edu and an Arteta. It's going to be a continuation of it. You know what I mean? That's my biggest worry. That the players are still getting by on doing the bare minimum. I don't know. Bro. Goddamn Xhaka, handed your transfer request for mine and your sake. Listen.
If you sent that sentiment, then fair play to you, mate. I want to see proof. I want to see
proof. Proof or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Proof or it didn't happen. But like I said, there's no point in even DMing Xhaka, man. There's no point in even talking with these people because they don't care. So the team booed off the pitch today, Scunny?
No, because there's no fans. London's back.
Oh yeah, tier 3, wasn't it? Good.
Yeah.
So they were booed off against Burnley. These players don't care, right? They do not care whether they win, whether they lose, whether they draw, whether If they booed off the pitch, they do not care. Getting booed off the pitch, they would have put in a performance today and beat Southampton. It really would have irked them, but it didn't. So moving on from that, man, we're gonna do a live 3-2-1s, 1-2-3. Now, if you don't know what 3-2-1s and 1-2-3s are, you can do if you've been listening to ArseBros or if you're new to ArseBros. 3-2-1s is how we rate the players when we watch them. +3 is our man of the match. -3 is our loser of the match. So, Scunny, as you watched the game, who was your man of the match, bro?
Man of the match, Saka.
Why?
Because he played an outstanding game, and it was the reason why we got that goal. You know, to bring that draw to us, he was that reason. He was playing like an absolute champion, and at 19 years old, mate, he's showing these players up.
Fair enough. Now, who was your +2? Who was your second best player on the pitch?
Second best player on the pitch for me was Rob Holding.
Really?
I honestly thought he had a decent game. You know, he nearly got us a second in the dying minutes of the game. He nearly got us that second with a header, hit the corner of the crossbar. You know, and I honestly thought he had a decent game. He did some great defending, and I think he's very underrated at the minute, Rob Holding.
Really? Underrated by who, though?
Arsenal fans in general. I just think he's underrated.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, he doesn't seem to get that. He doesn't seem to get that. Oh, what do you call it? What's that word?
Adulation, respect, mention.
Yeah, the respect or the recognition of the fact that what he's doing. You know, where Gabriel seems to get quite a lot of that with him being a new player. Yeah, it's like having a new toy, and the new toy gets all the love. But I honestly thought Holding today, I thought he was really good.
No, fair enough. And who was your +1, bro? Who's your third best player on that pitch?
I think this is going to be very controversial. I put Pepe as my +1 because I didn't think he did a bad job. I thought he was really good, and he did. I think he was a lot. It was. Yeah, I thought he was good. Like I say, it's my opinion. It's what I watched. This is my 3-2-1, 1-2-3. So
yeah. No judgment.
It's what I saw of Pepe. I thought he had a decent game. I thought he was one of the better ones going forward. You know, other than Saka. Sorry. You know, Saka obviously on another level, but like we were saying earlier in the show, Pepe's just that little bit thingy. But I honestly think Pepe was definitely there as +1 for me.
No, fair enough. We're gonna go into the minuses, man. And who was your -1 of the game?
Although we got the goal, Aubameyang.
Captain Fantastic himself. Why?
Yeah,
Why was -1?
Because I was saying before he got the goal, what the fuck is he doing? Drag him off. He's not doing anything. He's not contributing. He's just not doing anything.
Yeah, that's just typical of Aubameyang season, isn't it? Now, who was your -2, my man?
Tierney. I thought he had a poor game today. I don't think it was definitely one of his best games. I think it was. He got a bit. I think because we've been playing as a 4. And with the games being so close together, I think he's got used to playing in a 4. He's being playing as a left back. Now he's being played sort of in the centre, but playing as a left back. I think he just had that little bit too much to do today with the attack that Southampton had. I might have been a bit harsh with Rob Holding, with Tierney there. I just didn't think it was one of his better games.
No, that's fair, man. You call it how you see it, bro. And who was your -3, your waste of the game, bro?
My shit cunt of this game had to be Gabriel.
Okay, how come?
He got drawn into it, mate. He got suckered into everything. He got suckered into a first yellow card, and he made exactly the same mistake to get suckered in for the second yellow card. So
do you think that it's time to take Gabriel out of the firing line a little bit? Because I think he started every Premier League game, has he not?
I don't know. I don't think he's to take him out of the firing line. I just think it's that because he's new to the Premier League. I think with the way Southampton play, I think he just got suckered in. I think he dropped the ball in this game. That he didn't play like he normally played. He just he got suckered in.
Mm.
Yeah, he did get frustrated with the midfield. I think a lot of people got frustrated with the midfield. There is good shouts there for minuses for other people as well, like El Nene. I thought he probably deserved a minus. I don't think Ceballos deserved a -2 though. I thought he was pretty good. He was going to be my +1, but I went for Pepe instead. I
I'll
thought
see the
Ceballos had a decent-ish game. He didn't have a great game, but he had a decent game.
So the beauty of 3-2-1s and 1-2-3s, man, is that people are free to call it as they see it.
Oh yeah,
No,
and I think to be fair, I would say, like I say with DWTT, don't waste the tweet. He's right there with Gabriel. I completely agree with him. Pepe, yeah, you could give that either way. I saw it as a plus, and he saw it as a minus. By all means, I could see why people would think he was a minus. So yeah, it's a good shout. I just disagree with the Ceballos one a bit, but that's again, like I say, it's their opinions. It's how they saw the game. And
yeah, man, that's the
3-1s, 1-2-3s.
that is the beauty of it, man. And that's I would do 3-1 to 1-2-3s, but I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game because I'm at a point where watching Arsenal is not good for my health at the minute, man.
It's not good for mine either, mate. I don't drink much, but fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't drink much either. Because I mean, it's been a while since I had a beer, but I felt like we were gonna need one because now we're moving to two very difficult fixtures and two very difficult games. I think we've got Everton away, and then we've got the Chavs after that. And I think in between that, we've got City.
Yeah, we've got 3 very difficult games going into the Christmas period.
You know what I mean?
Period. You've got Everton away on Saturday, and then I think it's on Tuesday we've got Man City. I can't remember if it's at home or away, but yeah, that's for the League Cup though.
Yeah,
but I can see that being that's going to end our League Cup run, which in some respects I think that's a good thing.
It doesn't.
We probably don't need right now.
It doesn't even matter, Scunny. And I believe that coming on
we're
here and just
at home as well for the quarterfinal league
for away against City.
Yeah, against City we're thinking, and then on the Boxing Day we are at home to Chelsea.
Yeah, great. And who we got after Chelsea?
Brighton on the 29th.
Oh Lord, home or away?
It's the worst thing about this is the way we're playing at the minute isn't great. We've had what, 2 wins in the last 10 games, 10, 11 games. I just think it's that thing as well. It's that period as well that we have. Kieran makes a good point.
If we lose the next 3, nah, bro. I believe if
he's going to stay.
Arteta going is not going to be the end of the problems, man.
Oh.
The common denominators remain. So getting rid of Arteta doesn't change anything because the problems will still be there. And the problems are, and this is what I mentioned the metaphor, the grand metaphor here is that if Arteta leaves, who do you get after him? Who comes after him? It's a good. People mention Brendan Rodgers, and then those people. Come on. Getting rid of Arteta doesn't change anything. We got rid of Wenger, was out the door. Emery, then Ljungberg and Arteta. Have things really changed? No, they've gotten worse. So I think Arteta's here to stay. They built the structure around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Arteta's here to stay, man. It doesn't change anything. But, bro, I think we've come to the end of this, man. I just wanted to come on here because I haven't been around. I
mate. I bet it's nice to get back on it.
Yeah, it is nice to get back on it. Get Kieran coming in with not the end of the problem, but do you give him big money what money? What money, Kieran? What money do we have?
Mate, the money's tied up in dross players.
Yeah, man, we've squandered our money. We spent it on the Xhakas and the Mustafis and wasted it on Pepe and all of these things, man. We had money. The Ozils, Arsenal had money and they squandered it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Giving managers big money to spend, as you saw throughout since 2013, has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
because we
sorry,
had money.
I'm laughing at this sentiment again. Mikel Allardyce, half price Allardyce, -5, crap lineup, crap subs, bench, and subs. He's
It
not
is
happy,
what
is
it
he?
is. No, man. Anybody who's happy with this, man, is guys out of their minds. But
Yeah,
it is what it is. But we come to the end of this, man. Like I said, just wanted to come on here, have a beer, have a chat. No structure at all. No pre-planning. We just
who
come on
needs
there and we
structure?
just
I never do structure on my show, mate.
no, man. And yeah, this is perfect time to plug your show, bro. So the floor's yours, man. Tell the people about your wonderful show, bro.
Wonderful show, the Friday R show. It will be back on Friday. We are starting at the later time of. We normally start at 7:30, but over lately I've been accommodating. Accommodating an Aussie in Toby last week. That is a great show. If you haven't seen it yet, even though I know we've gone past the Burnley game, but it's well worth a watch. It is a good show. And upcoming, we have it is on at 8:30 this Friday. And we've got Ryan again, a fellow arse brother who likes to wank in his kitchen. And then we've also got my main man, Corey. He's going to be on the show as well. He's back this week.
Oh man, listen! If you haven't listened to the previous ArseBros show, you have to go back and you can find out for yourself, man. It's not
I
just
can't
a
remember
random.
which one it was. I can't remember which game it was. But
Oh,
if you're looking back on YouTube on the ArseBros part of YouTube on the ArseBros page, have a look. See if Ryan pops up in the little window or if he's mentioned in the comments, and have a listen to some of them. God, he comes out with some absolute bollocks. I've never heard of it before in my life. Yes,
man.
WDT Ryan is joining us this week. Well, he said he is. I don't know whether he should be, but it depends if he's preoccupied in his kitchen.
Well, I'll be watching, man. I'll be keeping a close eye, man, because like
We
I said,
might. Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt quick. I forgot. We might have another guest on, but I'll wait for him to confirm before I mention.
fair play, man. So for those who are interested in Friday Art Show and tuning 8:30 here on YouTube to see if the special guest actually turns up. I'll be watching because I don't believe I'll be, doing any other shows at the minute. Just I don't want an overload of Arsenal, like you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna leave. I was gonna
Sorry,
leave
I
it.
just in that comment. Sounds classy. Wank, snack, and beer. I don't think that was in his mind when he did it. To be fair.
Oh,
his reasoning behind it, or his reason. If you have to go watch the show, if you can't be asked to go watch the show, his reasoning behind it is because it was easy wipe up, not anything to do
you just have to go back and find it for yourselves, man, and find out the reason for that, man. We have a special breed of people on this fucking platform, man. And this is why we are who we are, man. If you are a degenerate, if you just want to hear some real opinions, if you don't want to hear none of this structured madness, oh God, just come. You've come to the right place. You've come to the right place, man. So tune in again. 8:30 on Fridays for the Friday R show. We'll be back with I don't know whether we're doing the ArseBros monthly. I don't know.
It is the alternative preview show. I call it offline. I call it the not so preview show because it is half-assed, but it's well worth it. It's a good show.
It's well worth the listen. We'll be back with our monthly. I don't know whether we do it. ArseBros Extreme. We'll be back at. I haven't got a clue either. I don't really care if we do it, to be honest with you.
The monthly show, if to explain the monthly show, Max, who normally runs ArseBros, he is quite, with it being a busy period, he runs, within working, he is very busy at the minute. So, yeah, we've just got to wait on him.
We've just got to wait whether it happens.
Not only that, he's a lazy twat, so.
Well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Nobody really cares. ArseBros Extreme. If you've watched it, I don't know whether I'm gonna come back with it next week or in the new year. I just can't be bothered at the minute. It's like ArseBros Extreme requires a lot of passion. My passion is right out the window, man. So whether or not because I'll be back in the new year or in 2021, in the summer of 2021, when all the dross has gone and my passion has returned, man. But until then, people, because I think we'll be back. We'll be back at some point next week before Christmas, man. So stay safe, Scunny, as always, thank you for joining me, bro.
No problem, mate. No problem. I always love doing an ArseBros, mate.
Of course, man. Appreciate the people in the comments. You lot have fucking contributed to this madness.
You've come out with some shit on there, I love it.
Absolutely, man. So, hey, man, give us a follow, share this shit, and we'll be back, man. And I'll